All right, you are still watching the conversation live on Lagos television. We did say earlier that our first conversation on the show this morning will be on ADC, African Democratic Congress, and the Independent National Electoral Commission derecognition of its leadership. This is not really the best of moment for the major opposition parties in the country, including the ADC. They are running from one crisis into another, and the latest being the derecognition of the leadership of the party. David Mark as the chairman, and of course Rauf Aregbesola, the former governor of Osun State, as the secretary. Their names were removed from the portal of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and this is generating different kind of reactions. And the spokesperson of the ADC, Bolaji Abdullahi, and others are calling for the removal of INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amukbiton, SAN. So this morning, we have a lawyer in the building, Barrister Kabir Akingbolu. He will be giving us his legal perspective as to what exactly is really happening between the ADC and INEC derecognition of its leadership. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure for having me too. Good morning, Nigeria.
So from your position as a legal practitioner, give us a concrete understanding of what exactly is happening and why INEC had to take that decision of removing the name of David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola as the chairman and secretary of the ADC from the portal of INEC.
If you ask me, the simple word I can use is that it's politics. Politics is happening at a very high level.
Politics?
However, politics. However, when I say it's politics, I know some people will understand it to me. Maybe the APC. No, I don't want to bring the APC into this one. Now, it is left for our people to put their house in order first. There is this common cliche, as you lay your bed, so you must lie on it. And when the foundation is weak, what can the righteous do? And the edifice, however beautiful, however well made, will crumble completely. Now, I know very well that the constitution of every political party is wired in such a way that if you are not a financial member for a period of no less than 6 months, you cannot occupy an executive post of that political party. Now, let us ask ourselves again, as at the time, David Mark, Aregbesola, Amechi, the rest of them and that are in that ilk, they came from nowhere, hijacked the party, and took over the party. They tried to take over the party. That's what I will say. Because when you look at it very well, you will find out that ADC is a child of circumstance, conceived in crisis and born into crisis and thriving and tried to thrive in circumstance, in conflict, because in controversy, it is not thriving at all. They were not able to completely take over ADC because as soon as they came and tried to come in, the people who were there fled up and said no, they went to court. Now, if you are not blaming court, you are blaming INEC and all this. Look at the beginning. Let us go to historical fact. What are the antecedents? What are the occurrences of events? What are the events that led to that? You wanted to chase me out of my house. You are new entrants. You not say I should leave. You want to take over. You want to be the chairman. You want to be the secretary. You want to be the PRO. You want to be the financial secretary. You want to be the treasurer. At the same time, those people who are there, are they dummies? No. And the people did not take it lightly. It will have been a different thing if they are watching. They didn't watch. They took over. They went to court. And the court has given a verdict now and say, we are not going to recognize you. Neither are we going to recognize you. They say status quo. Status quo is the one that has been, causing the issues. But status quo will mean what will depend on the fact of every case. If your taking over is inchoate, in other words, it's incorrect, it's not complete yet. It's in the process of, cementing. Now, are you going to say that the court should recognize you? No. And if the court has not recognized you, what is the business of INEC to come and recognize? And when you are saying they should sack Amukuta, we are always common. It's always common with us whether you cut off the head so that the headache can go. Cutting off of the head, you can't throw the baby with the dirty water. With the dirty water. Do you understand? You could have made your point very well. People will listen to you to say, "Oh, what INEC has done, whether it's right or wrong." You understand? Not remove from Amukuta. Is it how they just remove people? No. Amukuta can only be removed by two-thirds majority or an address by the National Assembly, by the Senate, because the president is the appointer. Even the president who appointed him, are you aware, cannot remove him. That is what they don't know. The president who appointed Amukwita cannot remove him. It has to be, if it's on misconduct, he will send it to the National Assembly. The Senate will look at it by an address, by single majority and other. It follow procedure. Those are the procedure he was employed, because he owns his statutory employment for 5 years.
So what INEC has done is in order? It's
in order, because it would have been a different thing now if INEC has recognized the old faction and now say they are not recognizing this one. But the only thing, why are we even disturbing ourselves? Supreme Court will be any, is it today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
You understand? They will decide it. We will know who is who. We will know what is what has happened.
What is the Supreme Court deciding?
They are going to decide the leadership crisis.
No, because the appeal court sent them to the
lower
court to go and hear the substantive matter. They've not listened to the substantive matter.
There is another matter. They have a lot of issues there. There is another one at the Supreme Court. Do you understand? One is at the Supreme Court ADC, going to be hard tomorrow. There is PDP leadership tussle between Makinde faction and Wike faction. It's coming up tomorrow. The one of ADC leadership also is coming up tomorrow. There is another suit filed, which was the one decided by the Court of Appeal and say, go back to the drawing board. Now they have gone to the drawing board. They will go back to the trial court, and the trial court has not even started
on the matter.
Do you understand? So when they start this matter, they will go to Court of Appeal, go to Supreme Court. I am afraid for them that they may not be having candidates.
So this is the argument from the different sides, especially the David Mark side. They say, look, we actually conducted due diligence before we emerged. We look at all this thing, and in fact, the person shouting now, he was also in that meeting when the power was given to them, and that INEC shouldn't have deregistered. INEC shouldn't have deregistered them because, one, they need to have their convention soon, because what INEC is doing is INEC is trying to remove them from the equation before even the match starts. And that's what INEC is doing, and APC is at the bottom of this.
All these are in the realm of conjectures. You understand? But let me tell you straight away. Now, when you say there's the difference between deregistration and non-recognition. Non-recognition. Do you understand? If they are deregistered, that is the end. There won't be any case at the trial court. There won't be any case at the Supreme Court. As far as I'm concerned, they have a case in the Supreme Court tomorrow. They have one going on or ongoing at the very high court. Now, what are we talking about? It's not deregistration. It's non-recognition. I will not recognize either of you. However, it can be funny at times too, because INEC should have found a way in between to choose who is a lesser evil, probably. At least not to leave them in limbo.
But you know how it is. No matter what INEC does,
they will say,
and somebody will shouting.
They will say it is not doing this, it's not doing. So INEC has now decided to be a neutral body. Now you are still having problem with it. This is the problem in Nigeria. You say, okay, if I support David Mark, this faction will say, I am supporting David Mark, I've given power to them. If I support the other faction, they will say, oh, I'm supporting this faction, it's the government that is making me to hate David Mark. So let me stay neutral. When you settle your matter at the court, come back to us, we will recognize you. It's as simple as that. Do you understand? If they don't recognize them, what would their information be doing on the portal of INEC? There's none. Because by saying some term of the Electoral Act, every political party must have the register of their members with INEC. So in so many cases when people say, oh, I have decamped. In fact, they have not decamped. That was my argument in Rivers, and thank God Supreme Court sustained the argument. That when people say on the floor of the House, they say, we have decamped to APC. And people now say, oh, they are no longer PDP, they have lost their seat and all that. I made that point on this program. That you can, there is just like me, I finished from maybe Uzaria. I will now go to under bridge and say, I finished from Unilag. And that won't make me to be a graduate of Unilag. You cannot judge that, because you must go to your ward and register as a member of PDP. If you are decamping for ADC to APC, you must go and register in your ward. I am now one of you. They will put, just like a student or a pupil entering a primary school, they will register you. They will put your name. You have you have a registration number, a membership card, a membership number. You don't have, but you just declare, oh, I'm an ADC. So those people, when they came, when David Mark and the rest of them come, let us be reasonable and sincere. Could they have been member of ADC? You understand? Within so short a time,
that can be arranged.
Do you understand? Except by arranging. But if they arrange it, it could not have reached INEC.
Barrister Akingbolu, okay, so what are your fears for the ADC? Because time is not really on our side.
My fears.
Today they will complain of the INEC chairman. Tomorrow they are fighting Gombe. They are finding it so difficult to even put their house in order. And the election timetable is not going to slow down for anybody. Now they have not had their convention. There is no chairman. There is no secretary. Everything is upside down. And these are the people parading themselves to be the Messiah of Nigeria.
I can tell you very well. My fears are many for them. I don't want to be a prophet look like a prophet of doom. But to me, the game is over for them. It will be difficult for them to be able to redeem it because they are already bedeviled with a lot of crisis. Do you understand? Now, the matter at the Federal High Court will start de novo, start afresh.
Yeah.
You start exchanging pleadings, defenses, pro and
back and
forth. Before you hear it, let's assume the court wants
Grant
to be nice and expedite it in Nigeria. Any expedite action, I don't think you can finish in 30, 40 days in 1 or 2 months. The last day you can submit this thing, I think is May 31st or something. That'll be the end where there will be no more candidates. And even to cross carpet, I think should be around from May 15. You will not be able to do anything again if you are not belong to a particular party. Now, another fear of mine is this: by the time they finish the Supreme Court tomorrow, let's assume judgment will be passed within a month or within 2-3 weeks and all that, which is very rare. If they do that, then the one at the Federal High Court is there. Again, when it's a very serious one. The party A, the first faction, they are saying, don't parade yourself as leaders. They are seeking injunction against them from parading themselves as leaders. These people too, they are against these people. Now, you are holding convention in a few hours. You understand? This convention, if it eventually holds, now if leaderships emerge, that's what they call the doctrine of least pendent light. You cannot take any precipitate action when an action is pending in court. You say you want to, tomorrow I'm coming to pull down your house. You brought a caterpillar, you park it beside my house. And I went to court. And I go to court and challenge it. I have filed and I have served you. Because you give me an order for you not to pull down my house. I served you and you went and pull down the house. The court will not be interested, or you remove me as a tenant. You put my things out. The court is not interested whether I even have a case. The court is not even interested whether I'm a thief that don't want to take over that house. You say, return him back to that house first. You come and listen to you because it's a disrespect to the court. That you are aware. Now, can they conduct a convention in the face of all these things that are happening? Even
they said INEC has no say in what.
It's not INEC now. It is the court. A court order is subsisting, and there is a case. Okay, the court say go back and try your matter, but the issue before the court is they want to determine whether they are leaders or whether they are not leaders. You cannot go and establish a faction because all the people that have been sued are still the people to conduct that election, which is a leadership role. In what capacity are you convening the convention? There must be a chairman, convening committee, there must be a secretary, there must be a PRO, there must be somebody one person must be the rallying point to make a convention to hold. The party is an artificial human being under the law, which operates, through the hands, which has no hand and mouth, but it operates through human beings. Do you understand? Now, who are the people controlling ADC? Who are those that says convention must take place? Remember the case of PDP under Jonathan and the rest, when McCarthy faction and the one of this governor in Madu Sharif faction, they said they have adjourned the sitting, they postponed the convention. Another person called them back. Who has the power to call them back and hold another convention? Their question arose then. So, who is the person that gave notice for this convention? It must come either the chairman or the secretary. Who now is the secretary and who is the chairman? You cannot say INEC does not. And under our law, any convention or meeting or any congregation or whatever that you want to hold to nominate your leaders or elect your leaders, INEC must supervise it. So if INEC is not coming without INEC, is
They said INEC doesn't have to to be there.
They are not the legislators. The last time I checked, the legislators have made the law. The law is there. Even a court cannot say INEC cannot do so until a court of law makes an order to strike down that section of the law or that provision of the electoral that say INEC must witness and monitor every convention. So if the provision has not been struck down, sir, they remain, they remain unknown. They cannot even do it. The convention will stand on nothing. It will be built on a quicksand. They cannot recognize them still. You do the convention, you send the result. Yes, you will not send leadership to INEC. INEC will still have the choice to now say, oh, are we going to take it? Was the convention okay or not?
Or was it part of it?
Was it part of it? We were not invited. As far as we are concerned, no convention held. If under the law, you must give 21 days notice of your convention to INEC. Have they given that?
But
when was the judgment even given?
Not
21 days.
21 days is like...
That is what the law says. Under the law, they say the judges, that's the judges, have the right to interpret the law, not as it ought to be. And they have to interpret the law as it is. Even if you are a judge, you see this law is not good. But that's what the law says. If the law says death sentence, you cannot say because I'm a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are a pastor or you are a Malam, oh, I cannot pass it. The law says somebody who has killed must be given death sentence. You pass and go. Let the mode of amending the constitution, let it go back to the legislators. But when they have not amended it, it remains. 21 days is sacrosanct. There are a lot of judicial authorities on that point.
I find it very funny that very experienced politicians like former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former people that have held sway in the political landscape for the past 20 years. I mean, 20 years. We are talking about Atiku, we are talking about Aregbesola, Amechi, El Rufai, even Malami that is in the eyes of the storm now, same as El Rufai. These people understand, at least understand the political terrain and how politics work. They've done this over and over. How did they get themselves into this slippery slope? Assuming, well, not conceding, that even there's somebody from the opposition that is happily orchestrating this. How did they find themselves in this logjam? Is it a function of desperation? Is it a function of the bitterness they have towards Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is it a function of how desperate they are missing that power? Because Amechi was suddenly hungry just few months after being super minister of transportation in Nigeria. Or what can it be? Is it because they love Nigerians? That's why they found themselves in this situation.
It's all of the above, but not one. The last one you mentioned. It's all of the above but one. It is out of greed, it's out of selfishness, and not of selflessness. It's not out of service, it's out of love for money. It's out of fighting for recognition, fighting for relevance. It's out of greed. Do you understand? But it is not out of love for Nigeria.
But they've always told us that they said, look, every program policies of government hasn't favored the people. So they are here for the people.
Okay. Now, that will make me to digress a bit. Let us illustrate them one by one. You see, let us talk of Aregbesola. Aregbesola was in Osun State for 8 years as governor. You understand? What did he do differently from any other person? In fact, at a point, he did not pay salary for 4 years. Let him come out.
School uniforms.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say he changed uniform.
That is the only achievement you may be able to talk about, because that uniform you talk was a contract for the boys. No, look at it. Appointment was a contract for his son, Kabir, bearing my name.
You see?
Yes, my name said his son was the one who did the appointment. He gave the contract to the son. The second one, the uniform, gave a contract to his crony. Do you understand? How can you? Everybody has an identity. I am in Nigeria. If I am going out of Nigeria, my passport is green. I want to be. This is my identity. Some countries own are brown, some are yellow, some are blue, and all that. These are the identities with which we are known. Now, you now came and say all schools must wear the same uniform. You gave yourself out that you have an interest in that company. It's not possible that every school Bobe Asarudin, CAC Baptist, Catholic schools. For crying out loud, does it make sense at all to any reasonable man?
Just a second. Are you from Osun State?
No, I'm from Ekiti State.
You can't be talking about two of us. We are the direct recipient of Osun.
Yeah, maybe you took from the contract. Maybe you took money from the... Because if you look at it, one person, all those contracts, they are scrolling. Now, appointment that you talk about, how many years did it last? It's just a program given to his son to do. You understand? In fact, in one occasion, a friend of mine was there as a journalist, and they asked a question that... There was rumor outside that everywhere that you gave a contract to your son. He said no. There is a broad idea and it was a beautiful idea and all that. I think the name of the son is Kabir, if I'm not making a mistake. Now, then for 4 years he did not pay salary. When there was noise and he was to be re-elected for the second time, he started paying half. Okay, so this one is very important. Amechi was in Minister of Transport for 8 years. He was in Rivers as a speaker for 8 years. He left there, he became governor for 8 years. He left there, became minister for 8 years. Now, they have been living on us for several years. 8. That's 24 years. He has been in power. So, and you are now hungry all of a sudden. You are now important. You now have a better idea now to use for Nigeria. Let us take Tambua.
He said they are moving the capital. Tinubu will move the capital from Abuja to Lagos.
Whatever it is, Tinubu has his own time. I don't know Tinubu from Adam, but everybody has his own time. He is here. If you don't want to support him, don't come and try to sell yourself to us cheaply. We will not buy. Do you understand? Is it Atiku that was under my watch, written by Obasanjo? Obasanjo said that the money made by Atiku as my vice president was enough to feed 300,000 people for 400 years. As he challenged Obasanjo.
It's not the same.
The only thing he's saying, that's where I'm going. Atiku has never come out to say, I did not do all these things that Obasanjo is saying, but Obasanjo is not a sin. That is the only defense he has. So until we stop this culture of, he is a thief, but he's our thief, Nigeria may not go forward.
Do you understand that these people have nothing to offer?
They have nothing to offer. Is it Obi that rule Anambra State for 8 years and could not build anything? He can't point to anything. In fact, at a point, he used the state government money and put it in his bank. He used the state government money to buy share in his father's company in a brewery. So, are they these people that we want? Is it Tambua that ruled 8 years, became speaker in House of Rep? He didn't do anything. Who is there? Is it Erufai that was causing people are alleging of so many things? So, Erufai was the minister. He was director of public enterprises. He and Atiku sold everything in Nigeria. Now, in fact, there are evidence everywhere that they undervalue all those things and sold them up. So where are we? And you want to now come and sell yourself to us to say what? You are not. You don't love Nigeria. So, I am not saying Tinubu should continue forever, but what I'm saying is that these people, they have nothing. They are not different from Tinubu now. It is not better than them. I know the antecedent of Tinubu. If I don't know anything, I know what he did in Lagos. The strong foundation Tinubu left in Lagos is still what is guiding them. Take Tinubu. If you want to guide a Nigerian governor, Sanwo-Olu will be 90. If you want to rate them, it will be 90. Other governors will not score 10. Lagos 1, other states 1. Do you understand? So what are we talking about? Because of what Tinubu did in Lagos. I don't know what he had done in the president. He may not be doing well. You understand? However, these people are not alternatives.
Okay, maybe
they're not better alternatives.
I'm insinuating now because are you a card-carrying member of any party?
I am not a politician. I have never been, and God forbid that I become a politician till I will die. I don't want it. Do you understand? In fact, on one occasion, I am still telling you, they gave me in my state, they offered me essay, I think in 2012. I said I don't want. Then later, they said at the end of the day, they gave me a member of the Judicial Service Commission. I said, you know what? Thank you, Your Excellency, I will do it. I don't want salary. And I did it for 5 years without collecting anything. When the 5 years remain, they are the ones that are able to say, okay, they want me to come back. Because I don't need this money. Do you understand? Because when people say, oh, it's because they don't give him appointment. That's why he can talk like this. I will tell the truth with whatever color it is. Let us face fact. Is he Obi? Is it Amechi? Is it Atiku? Is it El-Rufai? Is it Aregbesola? Today, if the president don't go the carrot before them and say, come, let us have a dinner and give them. Kokoso was asking for 80% of this thing before he can join APC. And they said, we'll give you 60. He said, no. He said that this money is in the newspaper.
Okay, it does appear that all these politicians, whether PDP or
it's for their own personal interest and they are not different.
So what are the options before Nigerians as we approach another round of elections?
The only option
in 2027?
we have two options. One is an option, the other one is a wishful thinking. Now, the first one, the first option we have is for us to know that the power we have is in our card, voter's card. Don't sell it. The second one is prayer to God. Because since time immemorial, go and check it. Up to today, Tafawa Balewa's grandson is in government.
Do you pray without being realistic?
You understand?
Do you pray without being realistic?
No, do you understand? We have so much indulged ourselves in the issue of prayer. You know, this philosopher, what's his name? Is it Coin? He said, whatever man cannot understand, he prays to nature. Do you understand? This is why I am saying that I say it's a wishful thinking. Because we, the political elite, the political class, what they do or what they are doing or what they will be doing is they weaponize poverty and use it to finish us. They know that we need money. They know everybody has a price. You want to collect money, and you once you collect the money, you vote. Do you understand? And after that, it's bye-bye. They don't, people, most of us don't even want road. We don't want school. We don't want health facility. We want to touch money. So this is the problem we have. You are even telling them to go and steal. If you let me tell you, my brother, in your village and in my village, if they appoint any of my kinsmen to be a minister or a commissioner or one post, if you didn't build, skyscraper house or mansion, next time they will say, no, this one that cannot build the house when we make him the DC, they will not vote for him, which means you are already expecting too much. So why do you want them to get it if you are not stealing? What I will be the happiest person if we can have a good, virile opposition in Nigeria. You understand? We want PDP to come back strong. We want ADC to be a strong party, but not in this way. You are coming to say, we want to destroy this thing. All of them came together, not because they want to form a viable alliance, but we don't want Tinubu to be there.
So how do you
So when you start like that, that is your objective. You will never get anywhere.
So how do you explain this narrative that is out there? That, look, you may say APC is not behind the crisis. But here is what is playing out.
Yes.
In PDP, you have no longer a faction, but according to what we are seeing now, the wicked side seems to be holding sway, while Makinde is literally about to go on political exile, as it is. However, the major player in there is supporting Mr. President for the next term.
Yes.
You go to even ADC. The only member elected from Kogi is in the House of Reps, says, my support is for Mr. President. In Abga, where you have Governor Soludo, he said, look, I am Abga, but we are progressives in nature. The person we are supporting, we have done it before, we are doing it again. The person we are supporting is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, we have other political parties. I am sure they're going to align at one point to either stay with Mr. President's APC or... How do you explain all this thing playing out where we seem not to have someone who say, look, maybe you should worry, but we do know where that ain't going nowhere.
The point is this. A man without history or without knowledge of history is a dead man. You get? Now, let us go back to history. Nothing is now new. Nothing is new again. It happened in 2003. In 1999, AD, all the Southwest, they said AD and all that. PDP took over the rest of the country and ANPP took over some part. Now, when it came to 2003, AD came together and said, no, we are AD, we have our candidates, but for the presidency, we are going to support Tinubu. We are going to support Obasanjo. So, heaven did not fall. Nobody saw it that Obasanjo was being draconian then. Nobody saw it that Obasanjo was creating a one-party state and all that. You understand? Though that was what finished AD. Do you understand? Because by the time you supported the president, and what the president was thinking about was that, charity begins at home. If my people didn't vote for me, if I lose Ogun, I lose Kwara, I lose Lagos, I lose Oyo, Osun, and the rest of them, then where the northerners will start to be telling me that even your people didn't vote for you, made you the president. So they voted for the president. By the time the president came in, he became so powerful and made sure that he swept all of them. He removed all of them except one. Do you understand? So, and the removal then was not legal. It was through rigging and all that, because you know there was election petition in Ekiti that later upturned the result. There was election in Ondo State that later upturned the result. There was election petition in Osun State that later upturned the result. There was one in Oyo State that nearly upturned the result. So when you did, and good enough, I participated in almost all these election petitions. Now what are we talking about? That's an established fact. So if somebody is saying we are supporting Tinubu, fine, but it is not good for our democracy at all for us not to have a virile opposition. Okay. It is not good at all, because it will be like living in a pariah state, especially when things are not very good with the people. People are not feeling happy. So people are not happy. So where is the alternative? None. If there is none, it's as if you are biting somebody and you say don't try.
So how do we explain why they can't realize the position, the unique position they hold? Talking about opposition now, I realize that they have a responsibility to the people and even to themselves to stay true to their ideals and to their calling of ensuring that they provide alternative ideas to the ruling party.
You have said it all. One of the things, they say a man who has the art and knows it will be better, will always succeed more than the man who has the art and doesn't know it. You want to be the opposition. What you actually want, you don't know it. There is no blueprint. There is no direction. There is no good manifesto.
Agenda.
No agenda, nothing. You are strange bedfellows. All of them are strange bedfellows. Who will even if it's possible, that is, oh yeah, go ahead. Another problem will arise, and who is going to be the flag bearer? Can Concourse step down? That cannot take 60% offer in APC. Will he allow to be running mate to anybody? Will he allow not to contest for the presidency? Will Atiku step down for Obi? Will Obi step down for Atiku? Will Obi step down for El-Rufai? Will he support Amici? Will Amici support Atiku? Those are the questions. Will Aregbesola want to be a bench warmer? All of them are made boys. They already have it. They have seen it all. They have had good political position. Nobody has had any political position less than 12 years after all of them. David Mark was in the Senate for about 4 or 5 times. You understand? He was Senate president
for 8 years.
For 8 years out of the years. Aregbesola was governor for 8 years. He was minister for 4 years. Do you understand? Amechi was in government for 24 years straight up. You understand? El-Rufai was in government for about 20-something years straight off. What are we talking about? So where do you expect them to come with the new idea? If you are coming that, okay, let UAE, that we run to today, you want to do where that will come. People sat down and said, let us make this country great. It was a desert. Because people were realistic, they were sincere with themselves.
Okay, what if they are now realistic? That is one. Then if by chance you are in any meeting with any of these characters or politicians, so to say, David Mark, Atiku Abubakar, Rauf Aregbesola, Peter Obi, Bolaji Abdullahi, Rotimi Amici, what will be that truth that you'll be speaking to them?
The truth I'll tell them is this. You want to take over, make friends with the other opposition party. If you're on the same page, you just get to call the federal con the other day and say, come, we are no longer interested in this case, we have settled. Draw terms of settlement and withdraw the case. From that moment, INEC will be helpless. Forget your differences. Beg these people, if it is to prostrate for the other people so that you can have your way. Sometimes they say you stoop to conquer. You don't say, oh, I must. No. You are, okay, let us do it 50-50. We are not angry with her. We are angry with her. We are take 50, let us take 50. Let's move the party forward. This party must succeed. Do you understand? I don't let me tell the people. They are already looking for another alternative to join PRP. Yeah, they are already working towards that one. But that one will be another problem, a catastrophic entry. Because you will take over PRP the way you attempted to take over ADC, it will still become another problem. Because Nigerian politicians are not, they have no ideologies. What they want is money. They are going to political office to make money. Immediately they join PRP, the other political parties will start to poach them, the people that are there, that matters. And once you start, another problem will erupt. Let us pray for them, but we want opposition in Nigeria. We don't want it to be that only APC will be on the ballot paper as a strong political party. It's not good for democracy.
You said we want opposition. That's my final question.
Yes.
You said we want opposition.
Yes.
So where is the opposition?
We want, let me tell you something. When APC won election, they were overwhelmed by success. They couldn't manage as a ruling party. When PDP was the ruling party. It went to their head. They don't even know how to. APC was, what they had. They were changing name. They were strong opposition. They knew how to play the game. But by the time the table turns, PDP was overwhelmed. They couldn't even know how to tackle the APC as the ruling party to be a viral opposition. Since that time, they have murdered sleep and they have not been able to sleep. They could not be able to even attack the APC once.
Are you back now?
Only Lai Mohammed was enough to tackle the entire PDP, and it was effective. But PDP, with all the arsenal, with all what they had, with all money, with all resources, with all their personality that they have, they could not be able to pinch APC in a place that can even, affect them a bit. That was how they go into.
So
went
should
to extinction.
APC create a platform to teach opposition?
I think they should. No, even with this kind of thing, I'm not making a recommendation. Go and look for the best. Propaganda is part of politics. Go and look for the best propagandists. I'm telling you. I don't want to start mentioning them, but they know people they can meet. And say, I want you. How did you do it then? Come and, they have a lot of people, even who are not in Nigeria, who can do this thing better. When APC wanted to take over power in Nigeria in 2015, they consulted an American brand maker. And he branded the whole thing, gave them a slogan that went into it, and that was it. It killed the entire thing.
That slogan was changed.
Today, yes.
It was changed.
Yes, as it happened in Nigeria that somebody, a rookie party, will come and win, displace a sitting governor or a president. It happened. So it can happen still. Bury your ashes. Okay, you want to be the leader. Even David Mark, if you want to help it, all of you be the leader. Let us follow you. But we must do this to this ruling party. We must let them know that we are there. Now, governorship election is coming up in Ekiti in June. Who is going to sign the party for nomination? It's coming up in August in Osun State. Who is going to sign the nomination for ADC?
They didn't do much in the Abuja election.
They did a lot. Abuja election, even the money they released, some people pocketed and all that, according to allegedly. And now, what are we saying? How many in some political unit, in some units, they have only 1 vote, 2 votes? They were not there. They didn't move.
But they moved now. Obi was there, Atiku was there, Amechi was there.
There is a difference between media moving, media popularity, and actual popularity on ground. Are you there as politicians, as voters?
Okay, Josh, my last question actually. So what pairing of ADC do you think can actually ruffle the feathers of the APC?
The only thing is for all those people to come together as one. Honestly, they will, because they were almost.
He's talking about pairing for presidential.
But I think Okoso is a very strong person. I don't think Atiku can be a strong because I think the face is becoming something else.
Regular.
But Yuan is becoming regular. It's not good for that brand. Okay. For any brand. For somebody who is known for failing to come and take over the. No,
Buhari failed 3 times.
It's not defamation.
Buhari failed 3 times.
But he joined the progressive party.
Buhari failed 3 times. He cried.
Party, then later joined the broken down vehicle. You are going to Ibadan. You see a car that are broken down that was moving at the snail speed of 10. And you decide to join.
Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race.
It's not every time that slow and steady wins the race. It's only a race that has no terminal date that you can do slow and steady. If you do slow and steady, you may not get there. Even in life, if you do slow and steady, you may not get there. In the Bible, we said something suffered violence. You have to take it.
The kingdom of God suffered
violence. You don't just say, look at Peter, Apostle Peter, the first miracle he did in the Bible. He said, the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, rise up and walk. Did the man walk? If you read Bible very well, he did not walk. He was thinking, you want to spoil my first anointing? Went there and raise him up. And the man started walking.
Josh,
you can't just sit down and say, oh yeah, be walking and you want miracle to happen. No.
Alaji Kabir Akingbolu is now a preacher of the gospel.
Well, we just have to tell the truth.
I want to say thank you very much. He's a lawyer and a political analyst. Barrister Kabir Akingbolu, it's a pleasure to always have you on the show. Thank you very much. We're laughing, but it's a serious matter, and we feel seriously that something ought to be done. There's no democracy without virile opposition. Nowhere in the world. Somebody needs to say, look, you are not doing it well, and I think you should do it this way. And on that note, we're signing out on this segment of the conversation. We're handing you over to Lagos. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.